Alright guys, so today we are going to be testing Bad Dog tools. We're going to be testing the drill bits and this cutoff wheel. Now if you haven't seen the videos for Bad Dog tools, supposedly these things are supposed to be like some of the greatest things ever. The drill bits are supposed to cut through wood, masonry, metal, glass and tile, plastic, hardened steel. They even show in one of their demonstrations drilling a hole in a hammer, drilling a hole in a brake rotor, all kinds of stuff. They're supposed to be like the greatest drill bits ever. Same thing with the cutoff wheel, cut through all of the same stuff. And both of these things are supposed to be lifetime warranty. They're supposed to be good for life and never go dull, none of that stuff. They're supposed to be, like I said, the greatest thing ever. Hopefully they're really good because they are incredibly expensive. This 14-piece drill bit set was $180, which is a lot for drill bits. But the 6-inch cutoff wheel, this one honestly kind of blew my mind. So a standard 6-inch cutoff wheel to cut metal is about $5. This thing was $240 for this one disc. How much this can cut before it goes dull, because that is an incredible amount of money for a cutoff disc. Alright, so I've set up kind of like a little gauntlet here of all the things that this is supposed to be able to drill through. We're going to start with a 5/32 drill bit. We'll start off easy. We'll go with wood. I'd imagine that's going to be no problem. That honestly did not cut through wood as well as I expected. Another thing to note is that with these drill bits, they say to just go full speed, and that's how you're supposed to do it. Next, we'll move on to some just mild steel. That just walks all over the place. This is not like what they showed in the commercial. Okay. The tip of the bit is now blue from heat, and I think it's now smoking. To be fair, I'm going to let the bit cool off. Alright, so before we go any farther, this video is sponsored by Manscaped. So, if you didn't know, April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. And 1 man every hour is diagnosed with testicular cancer. And it's actually the most common cancer among men aged 15 to 35. So, that's pretty crazy. So with that being said, Manscaped has decided to partner with the Testicular Cancer Society, and this year they will be donating $25,000 to them to help people affected by testicular cancer. So with that being said, Manscaped has released a new edition of the Lawnmower 4.0. It's still the same basic Lawnmower 4.0 that we all know and love, but it has a little extra flavor to it, a little extra style. It is the Testicular Cancer Edition. So let's check this thing out. This new one has a purple color scheme. The trimmer is still the same basic trimmer. It's got your skin safe technology, so you're not going to cut and nick yourself. It's got the LED light. It's waterproof. It's rechargeable. It comes with a wireless charging stand, so that way it's always charged up and ready to go. It also comes with 2 different guards so that you can choose what length you want. And of course it comes with a nice little charging brick and cable to go along with it to complete the package. So get yourself a Lawnmower 4.0. You can go to manscaped.com/TCS so that you can learn simple, routine self-checks to help prevent testicular cancer. You can also go to the testicularcancersociety.org if you would like to make a donation to them. So all those links will be in the description. You can get yourself a Lawnmower 4.0 or anything else that Manscaped offers. And if you use code TUBE, you can get 20% off plus free shipping. So far I am less than impressed. The bit is now cool to the touch. See if we can get through a brake rotor. They don't show that happening whenever, like in the demonstration videos. These bits just walking all over the place. Maybe if we start slow. Okay. Okay, that was pretty impressive. I figured this brake rotor would be harder than this piece of mild steel. Next thing they claim is that it will go through tile. It even walks around on tile too. I am less than impressed so far. I'm grabbing a brand new bit. This is an 1/8 inch bit. just in case maybe the tip got dull from going through that first piece of metal or something. Let's try a new spot, new bit. Slow is not doing it. I don't think fast does it either, to be honest. I should also mention this tile is like, actually I don't know how thick it is, but it seems pretty thick. I mean, am I doing something wrong? Is it supposed to take, in the demonstration videos, they just like, they go right through it. Or at least one brand new bit on the tile. And I don't even know if that's like a quarter of the way through, maybe? This ain't good. Let me try a bigger bit. Maybe the bigger ones will do a little better than the small ones, perhaps? So let's bump all the way up to a 5/16. Something that's got bigger teeth. Maybe it'll remove the material a lot easier. I'm gonna start slow, because I guess you can never really drill too slow. This thing just walks all over the place. We're probably, after all that, maybe halfway. Is this how long it takes to usually do, like, normally drill a hole in tile? Because I feel like it shouldn't take this long at all. I still feel like we're like approximately at the deepest point, like halfway through. Alright, I need to rewatch the video because I'm pretty sure they drilled through tile in like 2 seconds. This is getting absurd. So, I rewatched some of the videos. I don't know what kind of tile they're using. These are porcelain. These are premium porcelain tiles. The ones in the video, he slowed the drill bit down, just like I was. In the video, it chews through the tile 100% of the way in like less than 5 seconds. It just goes slow and it just chews right through it. But so far, that has not been my experience. And I haven't even got through one tile in probably like, I don't know, over 5 minutes, maybe even close to 10 minutes of just straight drilling. Let's go ahead and go for cinder block. See if we can do that. That's not what he showed in the video either. Okay, so I guess it's safe to assume that the original bit that we started with is burned up, probably from drilling the one hole in metal. So this is the second bit that is also turned blue from trying to drill into tile. You know, actually I'm not even going to waste my time because I can see that it's just like rounded off and there's nothing left. So we'll go to this one. We'll even give it a good advantage. We'll start in the same hole. Okay, I mean, I'm impressed. It finally did something. Let's go again over here. Because you're supposed to be able to go full speed, so let's see if we can do that. We'll get the hole started. Aw, man, it started off so good. I think that might be all we got. Oh. Alright, let's go for brick. Alright. I was trying to avoid putting a hole in the table, but oh well. We got there in the end. So we did go through cinder block. We went through brick. I have a file here because I saw one video where they said it went through a file. I'm going to set that off to the side because I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll give it a shot at the end. So next we'll go with the hammer because they say that it will go through hardened steel. So that'd be a good test for that. I feel like this is going to be a lot to ask out of this drill bit since it already drilled through a couple holes in cinder block and one in the brick. Not a chance. Let's use a brand new bit. So we're going to use a brand new 3/16. Well, that walks around all over the place. So here's what I'll do. In one of the demonstrations, they show they show them drilling through a hammer, but they use the drill bit as a punch and then drill the hole. Because they were talking about how the tips are like so hard that you can't damage them or whatever. We'll see about this. Doesn't seem to have damaged the tip. It is cutting. I will give it that. I mean, is it drilling into it? Yeah. Can you drill into it for very long? Probably not. I feel like that's about as far as we're gonna get. Let's do this again. It actually does work as a pretty good punch. I mean, it leaves a pretty good little divot. I mean, I can tell it's already exponentially more dull than it was to begin with. And I feel like if you had something that was hardened that you were going to drill through, I don't think you would be able to really get through it. I don't know which direction to take on that one, because like, did it cut into it? Yes. Do I think that if you had something that was like, I don't know, if you had like 1/8 of an inch of hardened steel, I personally don't feel like you could cut through it. So another thing that they claim that you can do is glass. So I guess since every single drill bit seems to be just a one-time use, I'll get a brand new drill bit. So we'll go with a 7/32 drill bit. I mean, it's scratching it. We might actually get through this. But it's walking all over the place. Oh, just what I thought was going to happen. Aw, it broke right where the hole was. We did make a clean hole, and we did make it all the way through. But I feel like I was only able to do that because I went slow, regardless of what the advertising says. Because the advertising says, you know, get just full speed, and the advertising is done very much in a way that's like, just to be like fast and hard and durable and unstoppable and like, just like it's that style of advertising, because they're beating the drill bits on like brake rotors and then like drilling through real fast, and like if you try to do that, obviously it's not gonna work. You have to slow the bit down like you're supposed to. But it is pretty cool that it does go through glass. I do like that. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to use the same drill bit that we drilled through the glass with. I have a piece of angle iron here that is 1/8 inch thick. And I just want to see how many holes I can drill through it before it stops. And I'm going to do just like they do in the advertisements, and just full speed, full force. Okay. That is what's confusing to me. In the commercials, like in the advertisement videos, you never see that happen to them, ever. It never, the bit never walks around. They just always zip straight through it, no issues. Okay. Now we got a little spot. Jeez, you gotta walk it all over the place before it'll like actually bite a certain spot. Ooh, oh, oh. Okay, that'll be the last hole that drill bit ever drills. This is what that bit looks like after drilling 2 holes. You can see this bit is just absolutely destroyed, and it looks that way. I'll use a really big bit to show you. These bits are essentially just masonry bits that have like a new insert in the middle. And that insert of this one, I guess where it got hot, it just blew the whole thing out and shattered it. So this drill bit got 2 holes. So I put in another brand new bit. This one is the 1/4 inch. So far I've been using the bits the exact way that they show them in their demonstrations, where they're just going full force, hard and fast, and just like chewing through everything like it's nothing. So now what I want to do is take a 1/4 inch bit and use it how I would normally use a drill bit, which is going to be much slower and more of like taking my time, and see, how many holes we can drill. And hopefully it's more than 2. So I'm just going to start on the outside. Something else I've noticed. Does that look wobbly to you? It seems like every single bit that I've used has had this like weird like wobble to it, like they're already warped or something. Let's try another one. So I thought maybe the wobbliness was coming from it being chucked into an impact, but even in a drill it looks wobbly. It seems like the wobble is kind of a little bit less in the drill. So I'll use the drill. I think we'll be here all day long if we go slow. I'm gonna kick it on fast. Whenever I go, you can see how much the drill is vibrating because the bit is like uneven. Okay, that's enough of that. That's maybe a quarter of the way through. After all that, maybe. So it looks like you can either drill forever and you're still going to wear your bit out really fast, or you can go really fast but you only get 1 hole because the tip is just going to explode. So either way, you're kind of screwed. Alright, another new bit. This is like, I think, like the 6th new bit that I've used. I want to find out what these bits are good at, if anything. Because they're supposed to be good at everything, but kind of what I'm finding is that they're not really good at anything. But since they are essentially like masonry bits with the tips, like I said, like cinder block, concrete, maybe that will be like their bread and butter. So we're going to see how many holes we can drill in cinder block before they stop, or before the tip blows out, or whatever's going to happen. They are really, really good masonry bits. I will give them that. This is something they are good at. This feels like what they are made to do. I think I'm overheating a little bit. Oh, the battery's down. I can feel it's starting to get really dull. It's not chewing through nearly as fast as the first one. Okay, so you don't have to sit here and watch me drill holes all day. It is slowing down, but it's still working. What, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 holes? I'm not going to say I'm impressed, because it like fails in so many other categories. I think masonry is what these bits are going to be the best at. If masonry is like the only thing they can really do good, then they're way overpriced for that, which is kind of sad. Alright, one last test with the drill bits. I'm starting with another brand new bit. I thought before I started this, I thought I was going to be able to do all of these tests with one drill bit because it's supposed to be so amazing. So I'm going to drill a hole in the brake rotor. I'm going to do it also exactly the way that they advertise the bits to be used. Just full speed, as fast as you can. I'm going to drill a hole and wait like probably 5 minutes, let the bit cool down. I'll tell you what, I'll drill a hole and then I'll wait until it's cool to the touch. Then I'll drill another hole. And I'll keep doing that over and over. So for each hole, the bit is cold and it's going to give it the best chance possible. And we'll see how many holes we can drill before the bit like disintegrates itself. Here we go again. Let's see if we can walk it into a hole. Okay, never mind. Tell you what, I'll use one of these other bits that's all broken down. Use it as a punch. Alright, that'll work. No, that won't work either. Like a spitting image of what it's like to use these drill bits. Just you're trying to use them and they're just going all over the place. Well, we got a hole going. All right. One hole. Hole number 2. Number 3. We're slowing down. Number 4. I'm going to go ahead and say we're probably only going to get about 6 holes, maybe. Hole number 5. Oh, whew. All right, number 6. I'm surprised it's still going. These drill times are getting longer and longer. Jeez. Towards the end, that gets rough. It's still making it through. It's just getting to the point where it's taking a pretty long time to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're at 13. If you want to be real generous, maybe call it like 20, and then the drill bit's probably going to be completely toast. So that's pretty sad. All right, time to move on to the diamond cutting wheel. I actually kind of had high hopes for this in the beginning, until I tested the drill bits. Now my hopes are very, very low. Because like I said, this is supposed to be this is advertised as like a wheel that never goes dull, never stops cutting, yada, yada, yada. And then if it does, it's supposed to be lifetime warranty. So it's supposed to be the most amazing thing ever. They say it cuts the same stuff, the tile, metal, brake rotor, cinder block. I have a 1/2 inch bar here, and then the same tile and the same brake rotor. Let's start off easy and go with the bar. Okay, I'm already not impressed with that. Let's go ahead and see if it'll cut tile. Okay, honestly, the tile, I'm impressed with that. That's a pretty good cut. So it cut this, cut that, cut that. Not bad. Let's see if it'll cut this. I'm impressed with that. That's very impressive. Right through the cinder block like it was nothing. I'm honestly speechless. I did not expect that at all. I also did not expect it to be this dusty. Okay, so cinder block cuts perfect. Metal cuts pretty good. Tile it cuts very, very good. That was exactly what I was trying to avoid. Was I didn't want to drop it and break it. So it cuts through tile. So far, this wheel seems like it's actually seems like it's pretty good. But I feel like it was just a little bit slow cutting through metal. So I swapped out the blade or the disc, with just a regular cutting disc, just so I can kind of compare and see if it is slow or if maybe I just, in my mind, thought it should be faster. Okay, yeah, so I feel like that was way faster than this, but I feel like this produced way less sparks, probably because it's removing material not quite as fast, I would imagine. But so far, not too bad. So far, this thing cuts everything they say it'll cut. It cuts the brake rotor, the tile, cinder block, metal. It seems to be doing a pretty good job. What I'm concerned about is the longevity, especially after my experience with the drill bits. So what I want to do is go outside, because I did not realize how dusty it is cutting up a cinder block, because I have exactly 0 experience cutting up cinder blocks, but the entire garage is now like the thickest layer of dust everywhere. So we're going outside. I want to cut up probably at least 2 cinder blocks, 2 or 3 pieces of tile, and then we'll come back in here and I want to cut up at least 2 or 3 of these rods. I want to make some really big cuts in the brake disc, get this thing really heated up. I want to cut some angle iron and just see how it holds up over time. So I went ahead and cut the cutting of the cinder block and tile a little bit short, because I could feel that the blade was starting to get dull and it was starting to get kind of like real like grippy and not really wanting to chew through it as much. And I need to make sure that I save enough of it to actually cut some metal. I think the metal's probably going to be the end of it, but we'll see. So one of the things they say in the videos is that the blade doesn't get hot and it stays cool to the touch. That is absolutely true. And it's honestly kind of shocking. But something I'm noticing is that it's throwing more and more sparks. Diamond, like dusting or whatever they put on here. I can see that it's peeling off of the edge. The more sparks all of a sudden, I'm going to assume is probably not a good thing. Alright, so you can tell from that last cut, I'm maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm like 8 cuts in, and it's starting to get real grippy and not really wanting to chew through the metal as much. It's more wanting to kind of like sling itself through. I think it's diamond, but whatever kind of like dusting they put on this blade is starting to peel off. So I'm just going to keep making cuts, and I'll be back with an update. I would suspect I'll probably only get 7 or 8 more cuts, and then it'll probably be dead. So actually, before I make all these cuts and end up probably destroying this blade, let's go ahead and see if we can cut something really thick. I just remembered that in one of their demonstrations, they showed cutting the thick side of a brake rotor. So, see if we can do that. It actually did it. It cut straight through it. So this, I think brake rotors must be made out of a much softer material than what I think they are. Because I thought that brake rotors were made out of something that was like hardened, and they were extremely hard material. But what I will tell you is that it feels like it cut through something like this, which is like probably close to a 1/2 inch thick. It feels like it cuts through this almost easier than it does just a mild steel angle iron. So these must be pretty soft. Now let's get back to slicing this thing up. Alright, here is the conclusion of the cutting wheel. So, the last time I saw you, I was making cuts in the angle iron, and I had done maybe like 10 cuts or so, and I thought that there was only going to be a few more and then the wheel was going to die. I'm actually happy to report that is not what happened at all. So, I was actually able to make this many cuts, which I haven't even counted up how many. I was able to make this many cuts, essentially turning this piece of angle iron into a noodle. It didn't die like I thought it would. So then I moved on from that, and then moved on to the brake rotor, where I was able to cut all the way around the entire brake rotor. I'm actually extremely impressed. And then I was able to make another cut in the cinder block, and the cut that it makes in the cinder block is still extremely smooth. I'm honestly very impressed with the cutoff wheel. Some of the like little pieces of like the diamond coating or whatever, this abrasive coating, it has started to come off in some spots. And I will say, from cutting all this, it felt like it kind of slowed down a little bit. I guess like after the initial kind of drop off of performance, it kind of just like stayed steady. After maybe like 10 cuts maybe, the performance dropped a little bit, but then it stayed the same through the entire rest of it. The entire brake rotor, except for if you see here, there's one cut that didn't go all the way through. The last maybe 5 cuts through the brake rotor, the wheel was getting very like grippy. I guess maybe where the coating is starting to come off or something. I would be cutting, and then all of a sudden it would just kick real hard and try to like just rip the grinder out of my hands. And whenever I was cutting through this one, I got about halfway through, and I was cutting, and it kicked real hard and made me punch the C-clamp that I had holding this thing down, and it hurt. So I decided to stop. I'm actually pretty impressed. Now, is it worth the price? That would be up for you to decide. But I do think it is a pretty decent product. And one thing that I will say that I do really like is that with a standard cutoff disc, there's always the risk that it will just explode. If you like maybe get it in a bind or something. There's no chance it's going to explode. So the entire time I was cutting, I never had to worry, is this thing randomly going to explode at any moment? So that was kind of nice. Now let's go on to the drill bits. Oh, what a disaster. There are exactly 4 drill bits left out of the set that are not ruined. So just to do my small amount of testing, these are how many drill bits are ruined. There's some in here, like I think maybe this one, that still kind of halfway works a little bit, but most of these are completely useless now. So obviously I would not recommend these drill bits at all. They are not at all what they are advertised to be. And I even I found a couple videos on YouTube where the Bad Dog themselves made 2 claims, which I think are kind of wild. They made a claim where they were basically claiming that it was impossible to overheat their bits, or they were saying that you shouldn't worry about overheating their bits at all because of like something about how it's made. It's something that you don't have to worry about. And then the guy like heated one up blue and then was still somehow able to just like drill right through metal. And even then he still didn't have the problem that I had with every single hole where it just like walks all over the place, and he was able to just go right through it. Don't know how that was possible. And then there was a second video where they were talking about if you're having problems with your bits, and they said that if your bits aren't cutting, then you probably just aren't going fast enough, which I thought was kind of crazy. The bits are, I would say, absolute trash. Cutting wheel, actually extremely good. And I'm very confused because I don't understand how a company can be on such opposite sides of the spectrum. Like how on one side can you make a drill bit like this one, the one that I drilled 2 holes with, and the tip just explodes? How do you make a product that's that bad, and then on the other end of the spectrum, make something like this that's actually really, really, really good? That's all I have for you. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If there's anything else that you want to see me test, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.